You're listening to the SojuTalk Nation podcast, episode 31. On today's episode, we discuss This Week in Music, Girls Planet 999, and catch up on life. So sit back and chill with friends. You're listening to The After Show with the SojuTalk Nation. Welcome to the SojuTalk Nation podcast, a chill discussion on this week in the SojuTalk Nation. We're recording on a Wednesday, August 11, 2021. I'm your host, Crispy, and joining me this week is Ara. Welcome to the show, Ara.
Hi, hello.
Welcome. So we had a couple technical difficulties this week. So my internet was out overnight, so I woke up at my normal time and did not have internet until 10 a.m. today. So we were already behind schedule because of that. And then Koala's internet is out because apparently there's a storm in Germany and it's cutting out all the internet lines. So that's a thing. But I guess she has internet at her family restaurant, so she's still able to do homework over there. And I told her, you know what, you should just turn it on and do the podcast from the restaurant. But she was not having any of that, and she politely declined the situation. But you know what, hopefully we get everything settled and things run smoother next week. But we got Ara super sub coming through clutch. So we're happy to have you, and we are going to talk about a lot of interesting, fun music and things this week because there is a lot to talk about. The crew went long, and they had a great discussion, and let's jump into the show now. So some announcements for this week. Soju Sessions episode 19. Pris joins me this week. It is up on the SojuTalk Nation podcast feed, and we talk about her origin story, where she started with K-pop, how she found SojuTalk, and we celebrated and simped over Somi. So that was a fun little conversation I had with her. And it's kind of funny that a lot of the conversation did center around IOI and Produce, considering that Girls Planet 999 Produce Season 5 is a thing, and now very popular on the server and in other conversations. So definitely check that out if you just want to know a little bit more about Pris and what she's been up to, and also the fact that she is currently in South Korea. So she talks about that a bit. Okay, let's move on now to this week in SojuTalk Music. We have 3 brand new songs. The first song we have is Weeekly with Holiday Party, Sunmi with You Can't Sit With Us, and The Boys with Thrill Ride. We'll start at the top with Weeekly, Holiday Party. Ara, start us off. What did you think? How'd you like the song and music video?
It was really playful. It was like, it gave the same vibes as their previous music videos, and I love like the colorful outfits. So it was like a happy vibe.
Yeah, it feels like they found their niche, like their look, right? With kind of youthful, playful, musically. I think their harmonies actually stand out the most for me. Kind of like my favorite part of like their music that's very distinct. And I do feel like they, at least music videos wise, have a bit of storytelling in that it's very situational comedy, right? It's very much like a teen after school show, where it's just like they run into some crazy adventures and they do some things. They put too much soap in the washing machine and now they have a foam party, but it's all good because we're kids. Ha 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 ha. But the crew, didn't particularly love this song. It wasn't bad, but it was not great. It wasn't their favorite. How did you take to kind of the crew's criticism about the song kind of not living up to the expectations of the previous releases?
I definitely agree because I think um, the song itself was more chill than After School. So like, you know how there's like the build up? I didn't really find a build up for Holiday Party. And yeah, I don't like After School is definitely like on top for me. So I still like the song, but I felt like it could have been better.
Yeah, Doug and Warren did mention it on the show that the song kind of loops. Like there's a
Mhm.
very simple loop, and that's kind of the only thing that you get for the majority of the song. Like there isn't too much variation in kind of the sounds. Or Warren broke it down a bit with it had a main loop. To him, it was kind of annoying, and then it had a
Mhm.
two-note melody. And then after he said it, I could not hear it anymore. That's not to say that
Yeah.
it's not catchy and it's not fun, because I think Weekly themselves as a group have gained that social capital where we know them as idols, right? We know their characterizations, so we can
Hmm.
kind of attach like that visual emotional component to the song. But if you're just taking it as a song, I think it does fall a little bit short to After School in the previous songs. Anita gave a
Hmm.
spicy take. So there are four title tracks. Anita says, "This is the bottom. This is it. This is
Yeah,
the floor."
I agree.
And yeah, I'm indifferent, but if I had to choose, I would probably agree.
Same.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
also think that like oh my god, I just lost my train of thought. What was I gonna say?
what did you think about the outfits?
They were really nice. Like I think like
Really?
they were on the same like level as After School. Like I could see similarities between After School and Holiday Party.
Yeah,
Um,
they just feel like a continuation of like themes, right?
mhm.
And like look, like they definitely
Yes.
have a look, and I kind of like appreciate that and adore it. I
Hmm.
want to shout out Monday and her amazing hair. I thought the gray was absolute fire. Um,
Yes, same. I think that was the first one that like caught my attention.
yeah, like that one, like she really has a powerful presence. Because I think actually no, I don't want to misrepresent and say who the incorrect leader is, but I do know that she is the main vocal, and she's somewhat of a center in
Hmm. I
a lot of the
think,
stages.
let me just search.
Yeah, and she does. I don't want to go as far as to say hard carry, but she definitely elevates the group to a point where their musical styling and musical ability
Hmm.
matches hers, right? Because I think all the girls are talented, but Monday, kind of being that like focal point, like really pulls everything up, right? Raises the
Hmm.
floor, if you want to put in like sports terms.
Yeah.
I will have to admit to kind of a sad truth. Soen, my bias with the blue
No,
hair and bangs, you know,
very disappointed.
I'm having a hard time. But some truths, some hard truths in the world, you just have to accept it. And she had a lot of great energy, but that hair was just not it.
It. Yeah, same. Sujin is the leader for Weekly, and yeah, I think the hair that I liked the most was Monday's.
Yeah,
Um, yeah.
yeah. I think overall, like a really good presentation, right? I think they did capture like summertime again, but just like the main
Hmm.
show mentioned, they kind of already had a summertime song, even though it was, I think, March,
Like spring. Yeah,
April,
spring.
right? It was
Yeah.
spring, but it still fit in the vibe with a lot of the other summertime songs that would eventually come out. So kind of a
Hmm.
double summer song situation. Okay, I mean, cool. Yeah, and then also like teasing After School at the beginning did not help set the table for the song, I will say. So, but overall, I would say Weekly is still going in the right direction. I feel like their public.
Yeah, they're still a rookie group, so I think there's more. space for improvement for sure.
Yeah, plenty of space for improvement. A great public appeal, right? Because they do a lot of content. And they're just very well liked on the internet. And I think that goes a long way where they can do a song like this. May not be the best, but it still kind of works.
And After School is still going strong. So
I know people are still loving and listening to After School.
Yeah.
So, you got that. All right. Let's move on now to the second song of the week. We have Sunmi with You Can't Sit With Us. Right at the top, I will just say this is a Mean Girls reference. This is a line from the movie where Regina George comes in. She's in sweatpants. And Katie Heron has tricked her into eating these high-calorie athletic bars. So she's gained a lot of weight. And she's wearing pink. And Lacey Chabert, I forget her name in the movie, but she says, "You can't sit with us." And that's where this is from, I imagine. Like, I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure this is where it's from.
Yeah.
But back to the song. What did you think about the retro, the neutro, tripling down now for Sunmi?
For some reason, like, it really just reminded me of her duet with JYP. Like, at the beginning, I think there's like an outfit that like she's wearing that's similar to the one in the JYP video too. So I don't know, I just remember that and I was like, oh. But overall, I really enjoyed the music video. I also wanted to mention that there's a lot of pink. I don't know if you noticed, but there's so much pink.
Yeah.
A lot of pink. And that reminded me of Alexa, because even like Alexa's latest comeback too, she also had a lot of pink. So yeah, and she was also wearing like that mini skirt and all that stuff.
The very high teen look.
Yeah.
I feel like that's in right now for a lot of idols. Very like subtly in, right? It's not like a big like genre sticking point. It's just, let's be bubbly, let's be bright and pastel, and also, high teen with like the skirts and the high socks, and just I'm kind of digging it. Like
a cheerleader outfit vibe.
Yeah, like the 90s 2000s cheerleader popular kid look. Shout out to Anita. I'm gonna just say she coined the phrase and she popularized it, but Y2K aesthetic, honestly, I think Anita was probably the first person I heard using that in that way. I'm pretty sure it's used in like other like pop culture and media, but the way that she uses it is just a superb way to encapsulate that feeling, because it's like the late 90s, but then you're in 2000s and you're like, well, it's not too different, but it is a little different. Did you get a lot of those vibes from the music video, the Y2K aesthetic and the sets?
It did.
Yeah. Shout out to Doug for name dropping Blockbuster Video, because I spent a lot of time there. Kids.
Same.
Nice. Okay, cool. So you are old enough. So for the kids who don't know, it is a video rental store where you had to go there to physically borrow DVDs and VHS tapes or video games, and you would spend like between $5 and $10 for a rental for just a few days. Yeah. You kids are spoiled with Netflix. No.
When did Blockbuster get out of business in the US? Because like for me growing up, because I think like 2005, 2006 was when I was basically exposed to Blockbuster. Or 2004, like around there.
They were still going. They were still around in the 2010s, but by then Netflix had already started. But even I think like early 2010s, it was still like a question if Blockbuster was going to be around, because they were still doing the direct mailers for DVDs, kind of like Netflix was doing, until Netflix turned into a completely streaming platform. And I think that's when like the end of Blockbuster happened. Technically, Blockbuster's not out of business yet. They still have like 1 or 2 locations. Yeah, it's kind of wild. But yeah, Blockbuster Video. Wikipedia that stuff, kids. It's a wild time, the 90s and 2000s. There was another point that Oh yeah, so the vocals and the music. So they did talk about that on the show. What do you think
Mhm.
about Sunmi's voice fitting this style of music?
I think from her previous songs too, like I I know her voice fits it. I think this one was it just amplified the song more, I think.
Yeah, like it fits really well. And then she kind
Mhm.
of went into kind of the like next step up from Pura Pipam, right?
Mhm.
I feel like those two
Yeah,
songs go really well together.
I didn't like Tail, so I think like this song is definitely like up there.
Yeah, Tail was a bit of a departure from this three set of songs that came out. I think in the calendar year, yeah, within the release year of the three songs, and then
Mhm.
the JYP collaboration kind of fit in there too. But that was far more similar to these three songs. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think overall she's in a good spot. She's super popular. The song came out at the same time as Girls Planet 999, and they mentioned it on
Mhm.
the show. So I think her marketing team is just popping off.
Yeah, I think she's doing really well with Abyss, and like the company is just promoting her really well.
Yeah, it's just she's just doing all the great Sunmi things. I did want to point out the outfit. The one that I really liked was the denim, the denim halter top with the high waisted bell
Oh
bottom
yeah,
jeans.
same. Oh my God, that was so good. And then like there was like a cut in like her waist that was like
Yeah.
on the side, and that was so good. My least favorite outfit was the white top and like the mini skirt with like I think it was like an X design somewhere around there. But the top was just I felt like the designer should have gone a size up and then fitted it to her instead of making her wear that.
Okay, I can picture it. Yeah. Some of these outfits have been very form fitting. I think is the
Mm-hmm.
best way to put it. So I think they may have like
Yeah,
leaned into a little too far with that outfit. But I think
yeah. I think it wasn't even about like the size. It's just because the top itself, they had like out they outlined the cups, right? And the cups didn't fit. And it just looked weird. I think for those types of tops, you just need to like go size up, fit, and then stitch it in.
yeah, and then alter it and do
Hmm.
all that cool girl stuff. Yeah, I totally understand. I totally know. Um, uh, this is probably an aside for later, but her outfit for Girls Planet 999 felt like she pulled that from the music video. It's a much simpler version, but it's the very form
Hmm.
fitting like bright pink. It's like, oh yes, you are promoting your song today.
Hmm.
Uh,
Bright pink is
yeah,
the way to go, apparently.
yeah, but no. This is not a knock. This is like what's the phrase? Synergy, top down synergy for Sunmi. Just promoting her image everywhere she goes, and it's working because we all love this song, and yeah, I think the song is popping off and very popular right now. All right, let's move on to the last song of the week. We have The Boys with Thrill Ride. Um, you can start.
Mhm.
That's all I'll
Uh,
say. You start.
uh, okay, so for me, I'm not really like familiar with the boys and their discography. Like I know Reveal or Steeler, but that's only because I've heard it. This song started off okay, and then the melody came in, like the I don't want to remember it, but
Da,
the
da, 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 da.
yeah, that.
I hate that I can remember that. I hate that I can remember. Yeah.
And so it was okay. You know, my initial thoughts, like when I watched the music video halfway through it, looking at the choreography and everything, I think the reason why they made this is to make it TikTok famous because it's such a TikTok song. Or am I the only one that thinks that? Because,
No, but
like,
I see it now. I can't unsee it.
Yeah, because like when you look at like the choreography and like the chorus, it's literally like a vertical thing. Like you can have like three people do it, and it's a TikTok song.
The song itself is very TikTok friendly.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I hear it in my head. It's like it's an earworm. It's stuck there now. I don't like the song, but I can't not
Yeah.
think of it. Oh man, you're right. So some of the crew reactions. Doug was very stylish with his official SojuTalk poo poo ass hat. Anita liked the visuals, liked the lighting. The song did not live up, and Warren simply just put annoying. He had a lot more to say, but essentially you could wrap up
Yeah.
all he said with annoying, and
Yeah.
he
And
did
I mean,
he did say it was incomplete. Also, yeah, go ahead.
hmm and I mean the music video, like the song's name is Thrill Ride, and the only time I saw cars was just once when there were like the neon race car thingies that they had.
It just occurred to me the song is titled "Thrill Ride." This title
Yep.
does not describe anything of the song or music video.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh, that's a little problematic. Uh, all right, so the first like thing that popped up for me is High School
hmm
Musical 2, the second one, when they all get jobs at a country club and they're like working, and it's hard because oh, I have to work for the first time in my life, and like these rich people are treating me poorly, which again, like, not to like diminish you know the struggle of working, but at the same time it's like, yeah, everyone's kind of a jerk in this movie. but
Yep.
they have fun, and they dance in the kitchen, and they dance on the basketball court, and that's what this song reminded me of. At least this music video. It's like, oh,
hmm
yeah, a little summer homage to High School Musical, but it didn't, yeah, really connect. I think I liked the robes. The robes are kind of cool. The the bathrobe. And then I
hmm
like dancing on a bar because alcohol. But aside from that, those are the only two visual memories I have of the music video. Man, this
Yeah.
this one did not hit.
Honestly, like I think they butchered Sunwoo's hair. The pink. Okay, so they like originally like in the teasers they like I saw Sunwoo's hair pink and like the cap that like you can see the hair. I don't know what it's called, but it's like basically half cap. Um, and I was like, okay, whatever. Like I don't really like the hair. And then the second time Sunwoo appeared in the music video, they crimped his pink hair. And oh my god, I don't know what the stylists were thinking, but the poor guy.
Youthful. Is that a thing? I'm literally
I,
just saying a
I
word
don't know.
that might be able to describe it. It probably doesn't. Um,
Yeah,
Youthful.
Kevin looked really good in the music video.
Well, at least,
He looked like his normal
yeah,
self
at least he got
because he is very youthful.
yeah, at least he got a few visuals. It does feel like Youthful could have worked for them, but this is not what I
hmm
know the boys of. Um,
Yeah,
and I was expecting more dancing, and like you said,
yeah, they're more known for their like dancing and stunts, right?
yeah, and then like you said, like the TikTok, it's like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, this is definitely a TikTok song. So, well, sorry the boys, but if you're the boys fan, they established themselves well enough where this is just a bump in the road, and I'm sure
hmm
when,
Like Doug mentioned, like their sales have doubled.
yeah,
So,
all thanks to the Steeler and their Kingdom,
yep.
Kingdom stuff. But again, kind of the larger issue is if you're a general K-pop fan and you don't know the boys and you see this is not something that you get a good picture of as far as who they are as a group. So,
hmm
well,
I think another reason why they had this type of song was because the music shows and charts announced that they're gonna count TikTok points, right? Like the media points.
I did not
So I
know
think
that.
yeah, so that's why they're also probably trying to promote it there more.
You know what? That's a longer conversation for another time.
I just wanted to mention because
Yeah, you're no. That's
yeah.
a good note. That's a good piece of information. I was not aware, and now I'm just
Hmm.
like, well, okay, that makes a lot of sense for a lot of different trends in music recently. But
Hmm.
we keep going. We push on. But
Yep.
yeah, so that goes it for the new songs this week. Let's move on now to the Soju chart. Spice King this
Yes.
week. A very, a really cool chart this week. I would say. Well, let's just get into it. At number 3, we have a Weekly with Holiday Party, Dreamcatcher with B, Cuz, and Sunmi with You Can't Sit With Us, Double Crowning with The Crew and the Homies, all giving it a first place position. So they double crowned this week. What are your overall thoughts? How do you feel it all panned out this week?
Turned out well. Like I honestly I was expecting on me to be first. Kind of surprised Dreamcatcher, but I think that's who is that? That's Doug and homies carrying it.
Yeah, the overall votes were very close. I think it was 20
Hmm.
votes for Dreamcatcher, 19 for Weekly, and I think that's just the power of like the fandom on the server, which is cool.
Hmm.
I think we all can enjoy that little healthy competition between certain groups and certain like voting moments. Um, but yeah, I think last week I had reservations on like the scoring system because I felt like 5 was just uh, too far removed from 3 being 1 point.
Hmm.
But this week does kind of feel like it really is only affecting the 2 and 3 positions. But we'll see moving forward. I'll just mention it again, just so then we can keep it like alive. But if there
Hmm.
was like one tweak I'd like to see to the scoring system, it would be 5 points for a first place vote, 3 points for second place, and 2 points for third place, just to balance out the third place vote for not being so, I guess, low on the point total. But you know, it doesn't seem like a problem yet, so I don't think they should change it or it needs to be changed. But just something to think about if it does start to weigh a little bit too heavy on the first place vote. But yeah, also shout out to Warren and Anita, still trying their best to get Akmu on the chart, even splitting the votes between 2 songs. But here we are. All right, so that is it for this week in Soju Talk Music. If you liked how it turned out, if you had thoughts and opinions, if you felt a certain kind of way, find us on Discord. There is a Soju Talk channel where everyone kind of pops off and gets in their feelings about how they think the show turned out this week, which
Hmm.
it's a healthy, safe place. I think for the most part we're all pretty engaged and open to back and forth. So yeah, check us out.
Also, come discuss your favorite groups and any entertainment news you want to talk about.
Yeah, you are just a professional. Plug in the Discord with and I do appreciate that you sneak that in occasionally here and there. All right, let's move on now to State of the Nation. We've got a big switch up this week. We've got Girls Planet 999. The first episode dropped last week, 2.5 hours long. It's the introduction episode, so you get everything. You get all the intros of essentially kind of like the main focal point trainees. You get the structure, you get the scoring system, and then you get the mentors or masters, right? The people who are judging. We
Hmm.
had, oh shoot, I forgot his name. Hotel de Luna. What is his name, Ara?
Chansung. Okay, wait. I don't know.
So we had Tiffany Young from Girls' Generation. She is one of the idol masters. We had Sunmi, the other idol master. It's actually kind of cool to see them sitting together and kind of going back and forth on their opinions on how certain
Hmm.
things went. And I get that the editing is supposed to be like dramatic, but I still think it's kind of cool when like Tiffany's expression goes from like smile to just like serious, like what the fuck. just the camera
The
zooms
duality.
in. Yeah, and it's just like, oh, this is amazing. Oh, she's really thinking about this. And then you have Sunmi. Sunmi's expressions the entire time are just like thinking really hard, and just like, oh, you're really intense, but like not in a negative way. Just like she's got a lot of thoughts and feelings, right? And then the other masters, there's a dance master and a vocal master. Two of
I
each.
was wondering, who is it? Like, I need names.
I keep missing their names, but some of the things that they did work on were a lot of SM songs, a handful of.
Isn't one of them from like 1 million?
Yeah. I think one of the choreographers was from there. I recognized some of the Oh My Girl songs that they had choreographed and written. A lot of essentially like very popular, powerful names in the industry as far as musical ability and dance. So definitely have a great resume. Definitely have a great collection of talents there, judging all the members. But yeah, so the way
the MC is Yo Jingu.
Yes, Jingu. Yes. Very handsome man. Great cheekbones. Yeah. So it was kind of funny when all the trainees were seated, and then he comes up as like the MC, and then they all just like fawn over him and just like collapse. One of the trainees is the same age as him, and then she calls him Oppa, and she goes, "Oh, that's weird," because he's the same age as me. I like the bits of comedy. That's what I live for.
Yes.
But on the main show this week, so they did go over kind of the structure, the expectations. What did you think about the crew discussion and how they detailed what the show was going to be?
I think Doug trying to convince me to watch the show is very favorable in his side. I think I might just watch it.
Hey, Doug.
Especially after listening.
Doug.
Especially after listening to the discussion.
Doug, you got one. You got one, Doug. You should be proud. I appreciated that they made the comparison between Produce and this show, the differences, the similarities, and kind of emphasize the fact that it is a staged television product, between editing, like the contrived drama between cast members, between like even the masters, and
even like they also mentioned like the rigging and like how even though it's probably rigged behind the scenes, we already know,
like
right?
Rigged, like, fixed, like there's definitely a lean towards certain members, certain trainees, but I also appreciated the crew pointed out the show did not state which trainee was from which company, and that felt intentional because like now hopefully you're going into the voting a little bit more blind, as opposed to seeing like, oh, this is from JYP, then I will vote for JYP, or this is from like the biggest Chinese company in China, then I will vote for this this trainee. So that's a little bit more helpful as far as like trying to be more fair. And they mentioned it on the show too, where it's like, well, you can try to be fair, hopefully, but I forget what the way Warren put it, but Warren said something really funny about that, about being. Never mind, I'm gonna butcher it. Anyways,
you can just be biased because of the amount of like screen time one person gets, and then if you do like someone, then you're gonna go search it up and then get even more in their lane. So yeah, there you go. See, what do I do without you?
Yeah, the crew. I also just like wanted to say like at the very top, like Doug, Warren, and Anita putting together notes for this show, for a 2.5-hour show. I give them all the props in the world, because it was helpful to go back and listen to like every single like performance that was highlighted, and also some little moments they caught, just to kind of internalize what was happening. Because the one thing I do really like about the show is that the paces are like very fast. It's 2.5 hours, but it just like flies, like it flies by. One, because there are so many like people that they have to get to, but two, I think they, I'm sure they're good at this already, but they really just have to keep people's attentions, because we've seen in other competition shows this year that if you don't keep people's attentions, people will stop watching them. Not naming names of shows, of specific shows.
Yes.
All right, let's go. Let's go into some of our favorite performances from this past week.
Yes.
So we got one here, "Boombaya" by the J Group. Or what'd you think?
It was really fun to watch. I really enjoyed it. I didn't even realize like how fast the 2 minutes went by. Um, yeah, all of them were really stable too. I think there was only like one hitch in the voice, but like other than that, like the performance was really good.
Yeah, it was kind of funny that a lot of the performance prior to this, they
Hmm.
zoomed in and like made you really listen to the uneven pitch and like breathing and singing
Yeah.
stability sometimes. Whereas this one's like there was that one moment, but for the most part, the entire thing was like, oh, this is solid. In addition to like the like intense choreography and the fact that all the members of this group were hitting it like superbly.
Hmm.
Shout out to J number one, J1, Izaki
Yes.
Hikaru. My God, that girl is talented.
So talented.
All the swagger in the world. So she was in Lisa's position for that song. So all the rapping, she rapped all the Korean lines, and she hit all the dance moves. To me, because I am a Blackpink simp and have watched Boombaya a million times, Lisa's dancing is always something that always stands out to me. And the fact that
Hmm.
this girl can step right in, put her own spin on it, and then have all the swagger in the world. It's like, yeah, no, you made it your own. Like, mad props. Who was your favorite in this group?
I'm gonna butcher this name. Nonaka Sana. Sana. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what position she was in. I'm pretty sure it's Jenny's. Um, but she also had like a few lines that she rapped. So um, it was really good. I really liked her. I think she's J6
Yeah.
or yeah,
I think
something like
I
that.
think she moved on, right? She was with the other member that moved on.
I did not watch the show, so
Yeah, no worries.
I
Yeah, so she moved on. I think her and Izaki Hikaru
mhm.
moved on to the next phase, and definitely well earned. They
Yes.
killed that performance. That was something amazing. Um,
Mhm.
let's move on to the one of the near the end performances where the show got real spicy. Um, so a C group covered Helicopter. And we've got a member of CLC in this competition. We've got Eugen, the very sweet, lovable, homie Eugen. Doug mentioned it on the main show. She's just one of those idols that everyone loves and adores. Like she's very personable. She's very approachable. Within like
Mhm.
K-pop, like the circle of like
Cute.
friends. Yeah, like cute, right? So like, why be aggro? You don't gotta be aggro.
I know, like that was just so uncalled for.
But we got aggro. So Fu Yaning, um, and they explained this on the show. She is from a big company in China, and she was on another competition show. Chinese competition shows tend to like push their contestants to have a bit of drama with each other.
Mhm.
And then Doug kind of like went into his thoughts and feelings about the line that might have been crossed. What did you think about the way Doug described it and kind of the two sides of the argument, right? Where on the one hand, there's the entertainment value, there's the confidence. But on the other hand, there's the, oh no, you shouldn't actually be calling out the original singers that you're better than them.
I think it's just like you're covering their song, right? So it's more about like just leaving them a courtesy and not bashing them, because first of all, you're the one that's covering the song, not the other way around. Um, and regardless, like you can put your own spin to it, but you don't need to bash the song. So I think what Doug said was correct.
The editing did not do well. Maybe it did, but to me, it did not do her any favors as far as being a likable character. I think it probably
Even like when I
go ahead.
sorry, yeah. Even when I was watching like the clip, like the introduction, like the first 10 seconds, like you could just tell how cocky she was, and I was like, oh god.
Yeah, she definitely brought that aura of just like I'm gonna be like the most cocky person here. Warren brought this up on the main show. It encapsulated it so nicely. I was just like, this is a piece of wisdom I'm going to hold for the rest of my life. So he said, there's three things: confidence, aggression, and being humble. All different, but all can play in together in the same like personality, right? Where you can be confident and humble without being aggressive. But once you're aggressive, then you come off as a different kind of way, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't have to be aggressive to be confident. And I think that's where Fu Yanning kind of went a little too far, where she started off with a little bit of confidence. She wanted to like pump up her group, and then it became like, oh, I'm the best. You suck. It's like
Yeah, and also it's like first impressions are a big thing, especially for survival shows. Usually, like when you have like 99 contestants and you see this type of behavior, you're going to be like, okay, I don't like this person. And your views don't really end up changing, right? So,
yeah. Um, I did what's it called? Doug did say that this is definitely part of a redemption arc where she's going to be set up as the villain for the next like however many weeks, and all of a sudden,
yeah.
her and Eugen have to work together, and it's like, oh no, this is getting spicy, which I can see that happening. I mean, that is a
Yeah.
moneymaker right there. You will get so many people to watch your show and call in and pay however many fees there is to like send in a vote for this person, because right now she's not a favorite of anyone. It's not her talent, it's her attitude, and you know, we got a villain. That's all I can say. We got a villain. Any other takeaways from the crew's discussion this week about the show? And you know, just so we have it on the record, did Doug convince you to watch Girls Planet 999?
I will see. I'm like debating, but I also don't know if like I can sit for 2.5 hours and just watch. So I might like start with the performances, and if I like the performances, I will move on to the actual show.
It's a lot to watch. I
Yes.
will say that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, the thing that helps it be a little bit more tolerable is because it's Sunmi and Tiffany.
Yep.
Their chemistry is excellent. I wish the editors and the producers gave them more because they're legitimately like cutting to them for their facial reactions and expressions, which is great. But they also have like really insightful things to say sometimes, and they don't. I mean, I get they have to balance between like all like what is it, like 6 or 7 judges, but it's like, but I want Tiffany to win, even though she's not competing. I want her to win. And it's still kind of funny to see Tiffany like really be engaged in a Korean program that's like very like culturally Korean, where it's like they do like super cutesy stuff, or it's like, you know, it's, because like to me Tiffany is still Korean American, and the Korean American like personality traits that she has, it's like, oh yeah, this would be really cringy if I was a Korean American or just an Asian American going into like an Asian culture. But I mean, Tiffany has also like lived in Korea for over half her life, so you know,
Yep.
that's just it's an observation. Any closing thoughts of the show? What do you hope for?
Um,
The
yeah, I was
drama?
wondering, like, is the show, so you know how you said that the two people advanced? So does that mean like they made the top nine?
So right now they're getting put into a group of 9. Um, I don't know how they phrased it, but just essentially like I don't know what the number is of these people that go on to this group of 9, but they essentially get to select what happens next. So everyone's in cells, like they explained on the show, like cells of 3.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your group of 3 that you have to perform with on the next challenge. But if you go into the top 9, which I don't think it's actually 9, I think it's just like this is the air quotes top 9, then you can like
Mm-hmm.
rearrange teams and you can choose your team, and like that's the chaos that
Oh, okay.
happens. Yeah. So like getting put
Okay.
into the top 9 just means like you are, well, think of it like in
You can
produce.
make the choice.
Yeah, well, think of it in produce, like you get your grade is an A, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
so like you get graded an A, but there isn't like a certain number of people that have to get A's, or like a minimum, right? A minimum or maximum. So like 9 is like your A, and you get thrown in there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how I phrase. I know, like the number thing kind of threw me off because at first I was like 9, but then like as you watch the show, it's like, oh, this is like getting really close to 9. There's like 7, 8 kids here, and we haven't even gotten through half the first episode yet. But yeah, I think 9 is just like the title that you get, which is essentially like your highest grade of A.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
Yeah, so that's going to be a little bit of the spice when they shuffle the groups, because right now they're seated in their cells of 3, and that's supposedly their next challenge group, or the group that they're
Mm-hmm.
sticking with until it gets shuffled. So there you go.
Right.
Well, yeah, yeah. If you watch it, we have a channel on the server. We have the Girls Planet 999 channel discussion. I will be popping in there more frequently because I'm invested. I it's been a long time since I've invested in any competition show, and I think this one
Mm-hmm.
got me. It's a lot of fun, man. It's something. And I would have to say 75% of the reason is also because of Tiffany. So yeah. All right. Let's move on now to our closing thoughts this week. Our weekly check-in. Aura, how's life?
Mm-hmm.
What have you been up to? What are some life adventures that you've been exploring recently?
Uh, Life is work is really busy, so I'm finishing work next week, so I'm just hoping this week goes by and next week goes by, so I'm done. Um, as for like activity wise, I haven't really been doing anything. I went to Niagara Falls over the weekend, but it was too hot, so I didn't even end up going to the falls. I just went there, touched base, came back. Um, yeah, basically that's it.
Wait,
Summer is also like really, I don't know why, but like July was just rain, and then August is like full on heat, and I'm just dying.
it does feel like collectively North America is melting.
Yeah.
I think Shinboy posted something about that today on Discord about like
Yeah.
the temperature and humidity over in New Jersey. That's the Northeast. That's probably most states in that area are going to be feeling that kind of way. And you're in that area, so cool, perfect. Enjoy. Yeah, no, it's been pretty warm in California. I wouldn't say as intense as that. I don't know if we'll hit 100, but it kind of feels like we're going in that direction.
Hmm.
Yeah, we got into the high 90s last week, and then we had some fires that made the sky orange, made it look very
Oh
scary
gosh.
because California has fires every summer, so that's the thing. But
Yeah.
it only lasted maybe 3 days last week, and then it went away.
Hmm.
But now we're getting the heat wave of everything, where it's just hot. We don't really know how or why, so that's a thing. Um, but on Monday, this past week, had a bit of a celebration. So my childhood friend I grew up with, she is Korean. She lives in Seattle now, but she came back home to visit her parents, and she invited me over to hang out. And then her mom said, oh, tell him to stay for Korean barbecue. So I stayed. I got there around 4, and then I stayed until like 10. We had Korean barbecue. We had galbi. We had like everything. I'll post pictures, but we just had everything. We had shrimp, and my friend's dad has a lot of booze, so he gave me a beer, and then he opened wine. Yay. And then he's like, here, keep drinking the wine. So I essentially had like over half a bottle of wine to myself while eating Korean barbecue. And then my friend's birthday is at the end of the month in August. My birthday was in July, and then her brother's birthday is in September. So, they just brought out a cake from Paris Baguette. Yay. And we sang happy birthday. And then the mom and dad were like, it's a triple birthday. It's like, oh God, I miss you guys so much. And it was nice. Okay. So I think I might be too exposed to Korean culture between listening to songs and watching K-dramas. Because as they're speaking Korean around me, I picked up on words and phrases and like gestures for context. So I knew exactly what they were like asking and like gesturing, and I would be like, oh yeah, here. And I'd give them like the plate of lettuce, and it's like, wait, what? Like, how did you know that? It's like, oh crap.
I feel this.
Yeah, and then they sang happy birthday, and then I instinctively, after the English version, started saying "생축하합니다," and then it started. It's like, oh God, what is happening? So yeah, they've indoctrinated me into their Korean family, and they very comfortably spoke Korean around me as if I understood them, and I kind of did. So
great.
That was the night.
Good way to spend a Monday.
Yeah. Oh, and then let me tell you how it ended. We had coffee, and he put on Korean dramas. So the dad watches a bunch of Korean dramas. We had a lot of conversation on like our favorite ones. I told them I like IU, and they love IU, and it was just a whole thing. And then they left. They left it on Netflix, and then I just like picked it up. It's like, oh, can I change it to YouTube? So I put IU's Killing Voice on, and we watched it and listened. And then mom and dad came back. It was like, oh, it's IU. You like IU. So that was my Monday evening. It's great.
IU, the nation's little sister. Oh my God. We love to see it.
Man. Anyways, yeah, that's my life. Anything that you're looking forward to coming up?
Not really. I decided, I don't know if I'm going on a date or not, but like if I do, then that's my Saturday plan. But if not, then I am probably going to be at home packing because I am moving back to my university city in 2 weeks. So next weekend.
Nice. Well, good luck on your date if it does happen, and good luck on moving back to university in person.
Yes, thank you.
With people.
It's actually online, but I'm just moving back because I want to.
Yeah, no. If you have the opportunity to get away from your parents, now's a good time to do it, just to free up your space and your brain for all that stuff. So
yes. Exactly.
Totally get it. All right. Well, let's end it there. I think it was a very eventful week this week, and yeah, we do appreciate all of the conversations on the SojuTalk server, and I appreciate you coming to join on this last minute substitution. Or
no worries.
It's okay. You're a regular, so I can always count on you for a quick bit of help when I'm in need. So yeah. All right. Well, thank you for listening to the SojuTalk Nation podcast, episode 31. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify or your preferred podcast platform, and continue the conversation on the SojuTalk Kpop Podcast Discord. This has been the SojuTalk Nation for Aura. This is Crispy. Bye.
Bye.